You walk into the manager's office. You're tired, your team is drowning, and you say the four words every manager has heard 1,000 times. We are short-staffed. And what happens? They give you a sympathetic look, tell you it's a global shortage, and ask you to do your best. You leave feeling defeated, and nothing changes. The problem isn't that they don't care. The problem is that you are speaking the language of feelings, and they are speaking the language of finance. Today, I'm going to show you how to translate "we're tired" into a data-backed business case that makes it impossible for them to say no. This is the clinical leadership compass approach to advocacy. Pillar 1. Stop being a victim. Start being a consultant. In the corporate world, if a department is failing, they don't just complain, they present a gap analysis. As a charge nurse, you are the department head of your shift. When you say, "I'm stressed," management hears subjective emotion. But when you say, "Our nursing hours per patient day, NHPPD, has dropped 15% below the safe acuity threshold," you've just sounded an alarm in a language they understand. Before you advocate, you must collect the receipts. You aren't a victim of the schedule. You are a consultant identifying a risk to the hospital's bottom line. Pillar 2, the triple threat data points. To win the staffing argument, you need to connect your feelings to these three metrics. Managers don't move for unhappiness, but they move mountains for avoidable costs. 1. Safety events. Don't just tell them you're busy. Show them the increase in near misses or delayed medications when the ratio exceeds 1.5. Data point, when we are at these ratios, our incident reports increase by X%. 2. The leaving against medical advice rate. If patients are waiting too long and walking out, the hospital loses thousands in revenue. That is a staffing cost. 3. Nurse intent to leave. This is your strongest card. It costs roughly $52,000 to replace one bedside nurse. If you can show that 3 experienced nurses are looking for new jobs because of the current ratios, you are showing management a $150,000 problem. Pillar 3, the proposed solution script. Administrators hate problems that don't have a clear exit strategy. Instead of asking for more staff, which they don't have, ask for a resource pilot. The script. Based on our last 30 days of data, our acuity is outstripping our grid. I'm proposing a 2-week pilot where we utilize a break nurse or a resource RN specifically during peak discharge hours from 1400 to 1800. We will track if this reduces overtime and improves discharge times. See what you did there? You gave them a start date, an end date, and a metric for success. You've made it easy for them to say yes because it's a controlled experiment, not an infinite commitment. And now, the Ellis Grey secret, the paper trail. Here's the secret they don't want you to know. Email is a legal record. A conversation is just a memory. If you have a verbal conversation about staffing, follow it up with a summary email immediately. Per our conversation, I've alerted you to the safety risks of our current 1-to-7 ratio on the med-surg floor today. Once that is in writing, the liability shifts. No manager wants to be the one who was warned about a safety risk in writing and did nothing. It sounds harsh, but in 2026, protecting your license and your unit requires a paper trail. Staffing isn't a math problem, it's a leadership problem. When you use data, you take back your power. Staffing isn't just a math problem, it's a leadership problem. When you use data, you take back your power and move the conversation from opinion to operation. But I also know that even with the best data, leading through a staffing crisis can feel incredibly lonely. That is why, when you join the Clinical Leadership Compass, Charge Nurse Edition, you don't just get a curriculum, you get a seat in the Leadership Lounge. The Leadership Lounge is our exclusive community where you can connect with other clinical leaders who are navigating the exact same hurdles you are. It's a space for real-time advice, high-level networking, and the peer support you need to stay resilient. If you're ready to master the business of nursing and lead a team that feels heard and protected, click the link below to enroll. I'll see you inside the course, and I can't wait to welcome you to the Leadership Lounge. Stop asking for help and start proving the need. Find your data, find your north. I'll see you in the next shift.